Look at Bronny James. What is Bronny James doing? What is even the thought process here? Bronny James is just absolutely useless. Bronny James is legitimately terrible at basketball.
There's been some pretty funny videos made recently by this guy, Awful Coaching. And a lot of them are Bronny videos, and they're taking off. Almost 300K views, 500K, another 300K. I mean, it's content goldmine.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Some of these videos are so fucking hilarious, bro. Shout out Commissioner Dynamo once again. This guy's amazing. They even caught Jaylen Brown saying, I don't think Bronny's a pro. And they got Angel Reese there too, just nodding, minding her own business though on her phone. And the top comment here, he ain't wrong though. A lot of people seem to agree.
Every time number 9 touches the ball, there is a buzz in this arena. What a start for Bronny.
And in this game, he went off and scored 12 points. And I know people are going to be like, it's only 12 points, but that's way better than what the number 2 pick did in this game. 0 of 15. Has that ever happened before? I think it's clear that a lot of people see the hype Bronny gets, right? Or the lack thereof of skill that he has or seemingly has. And they all attribute it to LeBron. How he's seemingly manipulating the media into talking more about Bronny James. Next thing you'll tell me is that Chet Holmgren is on their payroll as well. Clutch client, apparently. This stuff is obviously easy to look into, right? His agent is Bill Duffy, as you can see here. Despite that, though, there might be some truth to what some of the critics are saying. Did he truly deserve to be a Laker, right? Picked at number 55? Shout out Jimmy High Roller. Apparently, you know, there's only been 2 other players that were picked that low in the draft that even had numbers as bad as Bronny did in college. But obviously, it's the 55th pick, right? There's not much value there as, you know, another pick, like, I don't know, the 20th pick or even the 17th pick, like Connectors. In that case, though, why the hell is Bronny being criticized way more than a Connect? For crying out loud, people made a fuss about him dressing up the way he did during his introduction. Look at Dalton here. Oh, he looks nice. He looks white. Sorry there, Freudian slip, I guess. Jokes aside, there were people that were actually outraged about this. This is getting worse and worse. You just need to earn your right to underdress. I hope some fringe roster player lock Bronny up hard, bro. Apparently, this is fake love. The Lakers are giving him fake love. What if I told you that guy or that person might have a point? Let's talk about this infamous tweet that people have been quoting and referencing. LeBron James Sr. tweeting about apparently Bronny is definitely better than some of these cats I've been watching. I mean, maybe in the summer league, but saying this about NBA players is quite bold of him. But then LeBron's gonna turn around the following year and be the same person to tweet out, can y'all please just let the kid be a kid? And then obviously he's gonna retract and delete the tweet. Like, what the fuck, man?
The reason that he got drafted is because of LeBron. The reason JJ Redick is the coach is because of LeBron.
And there's Freedom here with another little press tour talking shit about LeBron James, a senior, and he might have a point.
He is not a good teammate. Obviously, he runs the media pretty much, and he tries to control his narrative. But if we actually go and have a conversation with inside of the NBA and have a conversation with the players, nobody wants to play with him. Listen, my whole life, I actually, I'm fighting against dictators. So when I see a dictator, I know it. LeBron is literally like the dictator of the NBA.
Okay, dog. Okay, bro. Are we serious right now? That's a bit extreme right there, but I guess I see what he's trying to say here. Like, okay, yeah, LeBron may have the media in the palm of his hands, right? It's just like, bro, this is just Cantor and his agendas. Sorry, Freedom and his agendas. In a way, when I see this, LeBron getting to play with his son, I mean, this is cool. This is actually pretty awesome. Like, let's not act like this is not cute, bro. This is adorable, man. Let's be honest, man. A lot of dads out there will tell you this is actually probably LeBron's biggest moment of his life. Like, LeBron will probably tell you that when he plays with Bronny, raising a child and then obviously being teammates with him in the National Basketball Association is kind of wild, bro. So all the haters, all the lovers, all the whatevers, just take a moment to appreciate this. Because really, this is what it's about as a dad. You want to have moments like these. Now, whether or not he deserves it is obviously a valid question. And whether or not he's even a good player to begin with or a good prospect to be picked at number 55, that also matters, in my opinion, when we talk about this whole thing.
This morning in our production meeting, we were kind of kicking things around, potential questions about the upcoming draft, what rookie would be best fit with Victor Wembanyama, who has the highest ceiling in the class. But then we noticed Bronny James isn't even on your mock draft. He's listed as 39th in your 2025 mock draft, so a year out. Why is that?
This is not me saying this. This is not some hater saying this. This is a draft expert at ESPN saying this, okay? Just bear in mind.
Malika, the fact of the matter is that Bronny James has not produced like a one-and-done player this season. He's averaging 5.5 points per game, shooting under 40% from the field for a USC team that has the worst record in the Pac-12. That's not one-and-done caliber.
I mean, it's really that simple, right? If you look at his numbers, you look at his production, it just doesn't meet the qualifications, really. And by the way, that was what LeBron was responding to on Twitter when he said, "Can y'all please just let a kid be a kid?" Let's read the rest of the tweet, shall we? The work and results will ultimately do the talking, no matter what he decides to do. If y'all don't know, he doesn't care about what a mock draft says. He should, by the way. He just works, earned, not given. You know, the King James, he had the luxury of being the consensus #1 pick. He didn't really have to think much about mock drafts and where they ranked him. So he doesn't understand that stuff like this does hold a lot of weight when it comes to discussing picks, right? Bronny is even pictured in this article from ESPN because they know who gets the hypes. The hypes, really? There was no parole needed there. But then again, that was months before the last mock draft he made. And on May of this year, he had Bronny James at the 54th pick, selected by the Celtics. We'll get into why he didn't get selected that far out. But during the draft combine, there's this clip running, right? He makes 12 straight three-pointers. It's just amazing. And I will say, this does show that he could shoot the ball, man. But this is him shooting in an open gym, man. This doesn't tell you that much, right? ESPN lists him as 6'2" with shoes, okay? There's a lot of players that'll be guarding him that's taller than that, and their obviously wingspan will be longer, and he's gonna have a hard time shooting the ball if he thinks, oh, it's just gonna be like an open gym. But here come the LeBron fans. Oh, he can shoot the ball. Look at him, demon. Like, y'all glaze LeBron so much. Y'all are now going for his son. Like, this is so weird, so parasocial. Like, some of you be talking like he's your lover or some shit, like you want to make out with him, like, oh, hey, yo, chill. Whether or not you think it was the right move for Bronny to go through the draft process, right, and not stay an extra year in college, that's not really what I'm here to talk about. But there's a disturbing amount of people that want to deny some of the truths that some people point out. How a lot of the hype is really manufactured. And this isn't meant to slight Bronny in any way. This is just meant to highlight really what the truth and the reality is of the situation. The way Bronny even got drafted to the Lakers leaves me and many others scratching their heads. Like, okay, like this, I get it. It's a great moment, but I just cannot help but think of how forced a lot of this was.
I want to clarify one thing you just said, which is Rob and I did not give Bronny anything. Bronny has earned this, right? Bronny talks about his hard work. Bronny has earned this through hard work. 1 second, you're hosting a very respected podcast, and another second, you're peddling lies to keep up a facade that just isn't true. It's crazy how a few months makes a lot of difference, man. And a few $1 million. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. They probably paid that dude a rack. Not a rack as in 1,000. I just mean like they paid him like the truckload of money, right? Like this is why I sort of get what Ennis was saying, right? Like, LeBron, you're manufacturing a lot of this stuff out of thin air, it seems like. Just off the fact that your name is LeBron James, you get to do a lot of things that other players or other people in the NBA just cannot do. And we'll get into some of the apologists, right, talking about, oh boy, so much.
I'd say that NBA media got a week's worth of content out of him being
yeah, well, since, I think they said, well, since your dad's not in the playoffs no more, you know what? We're going to ride your coattail, Bronny James. We can't get your dad to say anything right now. He declined an interview at the Cavs game. We can't get him to say anything, so we're gonna use your son. Yeah, we know how
there's other things.
Look at this man lying straight through his teeth, bro. Talking about, oh, now they want to ride my son's coattails. They just can't get enough of me. You created this, bro. Not just Bronny. You didn't just create Bronny. You created a lot of this hype, a lot of the problems that Bronny is now facing with the social media world, right? And the scrutiny that he's getting. A lot of this is because of LeBron's mouth, man. He says a lot of things to really, like what are we doing?
There's other things happening in the NBA world, non-playoff related, that I feel like the NBA media is using as well.
Okay, now I see why he's hired. I see why LeBron hired him. He's a good guy. He's well deep into the clutch payroll, man. This guy, JJ Redick, glazer, finesse. Look at him two laughing, knowing they get to run the show in LA. The rich person laugh. Do not lie, LeBron Raymond James Sr. You want this. You want all the attention. You love this for you and Bronny and for everyone involved. This is great. This is beautiful PR. As any East Asian parent will tell you, they love to live vicariously through their children's accomplishments. And LeBron gets to do that whilst also playing in the NBA alongside him. That's W's, man. It's a touching moment. I know I'm being a grouch right now talking about it like this, but come on, it's the truth.
He's starting to have some of the same arrows slung at him that you had when you were a teenager. What's going to take for him to withstand that?
I don't know if people really understand Bronny. He doesn't care. I actually cared a little bit when I came in. I wanted people to like me, and some of the things that people were saying about me, it kind of bothered me early on in my career. I let it get to me. Bronny doesn't give a
I don't know. That's a cool story, but if it's true, that's great. That's a great sign for a guy like Bronny. He's got a lot of criticism, a lot of pressure on him, just like LeBron did as a teenager. And it's great to see that, you know, if this is true, that means he's going to handle the pressures of being an NBA player under LeBron's wing greater than LeBron could ever dream of. I mean, that's according to LeBron James, of course. I mean, I'm not quite sure how valuable his word is at this point. I'm not sure how honest he can be at this point.
Want to hear these charges, people talking about nepotism.
No,
the NBA is full of nepotism.
Full of it.
The ownership level, front offices,
Absolutely.
coaching.
Yep.
I don't want to hear it all of a sudden because of Bronny James's father plays for the Lakers. Right. It is rampant in this league.
This is a sort of gaslighting that pisses me off, okay? When I listened to this live, okay, I was looking at this draft and I was trying to see, you know, who would get picked, because my Raptors had a couple of picks in this round. And when I tell you ESPN spent like half of the time during the second round covering Bronny James, his name worth, his father, his shoe, like they were talking anything about this guy. And I was just trying to see who my Raptors were going to pick in that round. And for some reason, they all they could do is talk about Bronny, to the point where Bob Myers became a newsbreaker on the show.
Bronny James, who is projected as a number 55 pick, what are teams saying? What are you hearing about him? This is Bob breaking news.
Listen, so I think we all can imagine what the goal is for Rich Paul in that situation. But there's a difference, Malika, between hoping that happens and making sure that happens. And I think what I'm hearing is there's an effort to make sure that happens, meaning whoever's picking between now and a certain number is being told, don't do it. If you're thinking about it, don't do it.
Rich Paul and his cronies went out of their way to make sure this pick was going to happen for the Lakers. That moment was going to be captured. Almost like it was a master plan from LeBron and bros going back decades. It was a plan years in the making. LeBron James wanting to make sure this dream of his would come true. Bronny, LeBron, even Bryce at some point, he wants them all to team up with LeBron, Daddy LeBron. And meanie Rich Paul here, he'll make sure that happens at any cost.
Your latest mock draft has him going to the Lakers with the 55th pick. And you reported yesterday that Bronny has only worked out with the Suns and the Lakers, despite other teams trying to get him into their building. So why exactly is that the case?
Well, I spoke with Bronny James' agent, Rich Paul, this morning. Very interesting conversation. He confirmed that Bronny has only conducted workouts with two teams so far, the Suns and Lakers.
This ESPN article apparently has some scoop. Rich Paul here saying, this is nothing new, guys. The goal is to find a team that values your guy and try to push him to get there. It's important to understand the context and realize that this has also always been the strategy with many of my clients throughout the years, especially those in need of my developments like Bronny. My stuff is by design. I'll be honest, this is a lot of fluff. Rich Paul is the master of saying a lot of things without really saying anything. There was this conversation he had with Pat McAfee, and it was embarrassing, quite frankly. He was trying to do, a PR move, really damage control, because Bronny was struggling in summer league, and, Pat was asking him about that and really softballing him with questions, and Rich Paul really just saying nothing. Even the YouTube comments, some of them, bright as can be, even they sensed it. Look at this. Can you say damage control ? The PR team was definitely grinding for a bit there.
A lot of speculation about where Bronny will land in the draft. You said you don't care where he gets picked. You do care about the plan, the development, team strategy, the opportunity, and the financial commitment.
Singing with me, boys. Why you fucking lying? Why you always lie? Then why the hell would you tell other teams not to pick him? Oh, it's strategy. It's nothing new. No. Usually when a team does that, when an agency does that, it means that they want him to go to a specific team. I mean, only 2 workouts for 2 different teams? What are we doing here? What are we doing? It's so obvious. This is forced. It's so obvious.
Malika, in my conversations with Rich Paul, who obviously represents LeBron James, but will also represent Bronny James, is that the idea of them playing together is not a priority. It's not foremost, at least any longer in LeBron James's mind.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? LeBron probably grinning ear to ear like he was in this one. Oh, man. Oh, that's right, Roach. Keep saying those lies that I told you. Good shit, Roach. I'll give you $10 extra. And I'm obviously saying this knowing the past, right, between Woj and LeBron. Woj doesn't really like LeBron that much, right? Which is why I'm always like, yo, why are you saying these things for him? Why are you lying? Hey, maybe he's not lying. Maybe he's just trying to say what LeBron is telling him or what LeBron is saying to other people, because I don't think Woj is that connected with Clutch. Especially not after all the things he wrote about LeBron James back in the early 2000s, right? Yeah, y'all can look that up yourselves, man. But really, this is the sort of stuff that I have a problem with as a fan, as somebody that does want to see NBA players play well, especially a guy like Bronny, who has an interesting story, right? Obviously, Nepo baby, you can call him or whatnot, but he has an interesting journey here, and it would be cool to see him succeed. It would be nice. Like, this is the sort of stuff that's gonna set Bronny up for failure, man. Like, unneeded pressure, unneeded scrutiny, because your dad wants to really hype you up. He wants to bring all the limelight towards you, and then make it all about him at the end of the day. Oh, how he's a great father, and look at this, he gets to play with his son for the first time in NBA history. It's just weird. And what's weird too is, like, we know Bronny suffered a cardiac arrest, so we can give him grace for not being up to par in college. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be an asshole, man. Like, literally, he had to play through so much already, man, playing through all that. And then it all gets magnified and compounded with the fact that everybody is trying to see your dad too play with Bronny. Like, this is too much. And it's like, bro, he may be a Nepo baby, but at the very least, he's still a guy trying to make it to the NBA like anybody else. He should be given grace, especially all that he's went through. But LeBron, please stop lying. Oh my God, stop fucking lying.